Hello, welcome to the church office.
Thanks for stopping by.
We are here in my office.
Yep.
All right, and we'll give you some updates. But
Mhm.
one of the things that we're excited about is next week, next Tuesday, we're going presidential.
Yeah.
PJ, I hinted that we might get the president of the Michigan district to be a guest on the church office.
It was a long shot, I felt like.
Hey, you know what? You got to try.
You got to try.
The worst thing he could say is no, but the worst thing he said was yes.
Okay,
So
great.
we are next Tuesday. PJ and I were taking the show on the road, literally. We're going to Ann Arbor to the district offices, and President David Davis has agreed to sit down and talk with us in preparation for the Michigan District Convention, which is the week following.
Right.
Some of the other things, and just to get a chance to meet President Davis.
Yeah.
He has ties to our Downriver Circuit from when he was in the St. Paul Trenton kind of ministry. And so you'll get a chance to meet him. And overall, I want our people to see, I want you to see that when we say district, I'm trying to put a face with that name, right? Because they're real people, they're partners in ministry. And so that's what we'll be doing next week. So in preparation for that, I've got some things we'll talk about. But first things first, a little shout out to our good friends at White Furniture, all right, where you're pampered, not pressured. But today, PJ, I don't know why, this time of year, we have a beautiful summer day.
Yes, we do.
This time of year just always gets me thinking about creation themes.
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of look back.
Yeah, just seeing nature.
Almost all of my July newsletter articles
are about that.
They're about creation, creation
yeah.
themes. And I thought to myself, and so for those of you who don't know, this is a cup that PJ and Jackie brought to me when they went to visit the Creation Museum.
Very special gift.
It is
for you.
It was a buy one, get one free. It was not a gift. I need to go on record saying it was not a gift.
Yeah, it was a buy one, get one situation.
So when Denise and I go on vacation, I'm not buying PJ a gift.
No.
But if you check it out, man.
Yeah.
See, it starts out just all navy blue, and now with the liquid, you can watch it change as we go through there. All right, put this away here. PJ, we have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
It is school's out.
School's out now.
But there's this window between school being out and Vacation Bible School.
Mm-hmm.
We have some camps coming up.
That's right.
We have the Mud Hens game.
Yeah.
So, Vacation Bible School starts next Monday.
That's next week. Yeah.
Monday
so still time
Friday.
To register ahead of time.
We did correctly identify the times being sometime in the morning.
We were right about that.
9 a.m. to
11:30.
Yeah, why not? It's about stars, which are part of creation.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah. We were making some assumptions on the theme. Well, and we were not spot on.
We were really close, though.
We were close.
We were really close. If you can't see this now, check it out. It has now become a scene of the ark with the rainbow and the whole thing. So, PJ, I'm really glad that they gave you one for free because I do like this mug.
Yeah, it's good.
It's very nice.
By the way, we showcased that VBS theme at the Southgate Parade.
That's right.
Over the weekend, and it was fun. I was great at waving. You got to do a lot of waving when you're walking in a parade. Yeah.
Did you get the Queen wave down?
I'm not good at the Queen wave. It doesn't. It feels like it just doesn't fit me well, But I saw other people that nailed it.
I heard that the mayor came up and said hi.
I did. I saw the mayor sort of mingling with our group at the beginning as I was kind of walking up. That was fun. All the elected officials go in the parade too, and it was good. It was a great time and we got to showcase the float that one of our outreach committees got together and put together, and just tell people about VBS. And we had people along the route that said, "Oh, okay, what time does it start? We want to be there with our kids." So it was good. Yeah.
Being visible in our community, obviously, that's part of reaching out into the community, letting them know that if you're looking for a church home, come visit us here at Christ the King. I guess Jess is starting to put together some video stuff even today.
Okay, yeah.
And so I was told to be camera ready.
You're always camera ready, right? I mean, you never know.
Well, when Jess tells you, "Hey, you're doing hair and makeup," right? I don't need hair. Makeup, maybe. I don't need hair. Anyway, so putting that together, that's going to be a lot of fun. That is next week.
Yeah.
The Mud Hens game is the 29th, but the deadline is this Friday. But there's still
buy tickets. Yeah.
To buy tickets is
and that's because we're sitting all together in one block.
Yeah. Right now we got about a group of 50. We'd love to add to that. Come on down. Let's watch a game together. And also too, If you want to, you can go a little bit early and hear some testimonies from the chaplain and some of the members of the team, because it's called the Faith Fest. And so it's kind of a celebration of our Christian faith as a group, and also with some of the players.
Yeah.
And who knows? Hopefully, we'll see some of these people at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
Here in years to come. Which, go Tigers! Off to a great start.
You know what? Even I'm aware of that.
Yeah. 20 games over 500. After beating the Orioles last night. So good for them. Go Tigers. All right. So Mud Hens, Ryan Stevenson concert. I know it's all the way in September, but here's the deal. For those of you who know Ryan Stevenson, major Christian artist.
Yeah, this is like, you hear him on the radio.
Yeah. So this is a big deal. This is what Chance's vision is for our event center there on Pennsylvania Road and that campus, right? Let's get some real major artists out there, and Ryan Stevenson is kind of our first one. And we've got a thing set up online today where you can buy your tickets. When you buy your tickets, it's going to give you kind of an additional cost, almost like a surcharge, but you can opt out of that.
Okay.
So just be aware. It'll come up. It'll say, like a percentage of this, that, and the other thing. Click down, say other, and so I'm not really sure how that worked out. But the point is, we're giving our folks here at Christ the King a couple weeks so that we can get as many tickets for our folks as we can. And if we sell out, then we sell out with our folks. But we're hoping to get in the area of about 400 people. Okay. So if we don't sell out with us, then we're going to open it up. We want to give our folks the first chance. So over the next 2 weeks, right, go online. And there'll be a link. It'll take you to a site where you can buy your tickets. I bought my tickets, so
I still got to get mine.
Yep. You better hurry.
It's a Friday night in September.
It is September 5th, whatever
September
that
5th.
is.
Okay.
Yes. I don't have my phone. I do this every time I use my phone to record.
Right. I
start looking for my phone. And I go,
oh,
there it is. Ryan Stevenson coming up. Summer opportunities. Summer's a great time to travel. Do you and Jackie, do you have some travel plans or just little trips here and there? What are you guys doing?
I'm going to be in St. Louis, and just
right.
Right after VBS, we're heading off for St. Louis. It's going to be a total of like 10 days of travel. So that's sort of our big trip. We're also planning on taking a trip maybe to the Washington, D.C. area. Jackie has family that lives there that we like to go and stay. And I think, I think we're going to try to make a day trip to Gettysburg. You ever been to Gettysburg?
I have not been to Gettysburg.
Jackie and I went there one time before we had kids. I'm not sure if anyone's been to Gettysburg with kids, because it's mostly, it's a big history thing.
I know that it's a great place to take your office staff. If you're looking to boost, if you're looking to boost morale, maybe take the office staff to Gettysburg. Now, if you have someone on staff that looks a little bit like Abraham Lincoln, you might want to make sure that he stays away from the stovepipe hat. Just throwing it out there. If you thought though. So, but your trip to St. Louis is in connection with your SMP class.
Yeah, so I'll be in class.
However, you do take the whole family. And you kind of turn it into a nice family.
So they'll do, there's a lot of stuff in St. Louis that's free.
Yes.
And so they do sort of the sightseeing stuff during the day, and then we get to hang out in the evening together, and it ends up being a great time.
Nice. Yeah. Having lived in the shadow of St. Louis, my first parish was just a half hour south. So Denise would this was when the girls were little. Before Joe was born, the girls were little. So a lot of times she would just take them up to the St. Louis Zoo. Because it was free. Forest Park. A great place to walk
right next
around.
to the Sem.
Right next to the Sem. So well, all right. So that's going on there. If you're traveling, don't forget that you can always check us out on Thursday night. We have Thursday night services. 7:00 here at the Trenton Road campus. And you can check out the live stream. You can catch up with services online if you want to do that. And also, too, you can take advantage of online giving. A lot of folks giving online as well. So that's just something to throw out there for our summer months.
For sure.
Anything else? Talk about where we at on our
so we're kind of like right in the middle of this this walk the walk initiative. And so the goal of this is we want to prayer walk the entire city of Southgate. We want to be in every street in Southgate and pray all together as a community for our mission field here. And so what I actually have with me right now is this is one of our routes. So this is actually Route 1. This route is already done, but I'm actually using this because I've done a couple of prayer walks over the last 3 days, I've done 2 different prayer walks, and I didn't follow any particular route. That my group that we went with, we didn't follow a route. So now I need to highlight where we went so that I can give that to Jessica and she can mark it on the map. When you come into church this weekend, check out the map. It's getting filled up with blue with all of the places that we have prayed now. And I don't know, it looks like we're maybe about halfway. So I think we're keeping a good pace, but I'm excited to see this thing all blue.
And you can use these apps online that are
very to track.
I downloaded an app called Map My Run, but they also have Map My Walk. One word, Map My Walk, and you just turn it on, start workout, and you walk, and then it basically just shows where you walk. I do it all the time. Where I live during the kind of winter months, I like to get out there and just walk during that. And so it's an easy way to keep track. So. Denise and I were going to do that last Friday, but the forecast didn't really cooperate. There was a chance of rain. So we pushed it off to this Friday. Yeah, and that's my plan, I want to park at Sam's.
Okay.
And because I used to live by Sam's when I lived here in Southgate, and I would walk to Sam's. And so I'm gonna do it the other way around.
Also be a walk that you've done before. That's
cool. Sort of. I'll park at Sam's and then walk my old street and then down the other one. And we'll figure out a little bit of a route up in that in that particular area. If you're familiar with Southgate, by the Sam's Club. We're hoping to knock that out this Friday. But yeah,
it's good. So here's what I found.
What was your experience?
Is that just only the very first time did it feel kind of awkward to be praying and walking, but then as soon as I did it one time, it felt normal very quickly. And it was just tiny, just short little prayers, right? Just a 1-sentence prayer, but just to, ask God to be with the people that we see, to bless the street that we're walking on, just ask God to be present. It was really, really cool.
And I would think that it feels more like you're talking with God, because most of the time in prayer, our mouth is closed and we're thinking. And so prayer becomes thinking with God. Which is different than talking with God. Because you and I right now, we're not thinking together. We're talking together. And there's a very real, right? PJ and I spent some time together today. Well, it's kind of like God and I spent some time together today.
Totally. It was. So, I encourage you to give it a try. If you're nervous about doing it or you're not sure, just give it. And you don't have to just commit to just walking down one street even. Just give it a little try. And I think that you're going to find that it's a good, rewarding spiritual thing. And
you know what we need to do is get a picture of that map and maybe post it somewhere that folks can find it.
That's a good
online,
idea, so they can see.
So you just click on and go. You can click on immediately. And see that.
That's a good idea. I bet we could make that happen.
You know what? I bet that I can ask Jess. Hey, Jess, take a picture of the map and put it right here, right over.
You think she can put it right on the video?
Jess is really good at that. Remember last week I said, hey, Jess, I'm going to talk about this thing called a God's eye. PJ has no idea what it is because he wasn't born in the 60s, right? He did not do 7.
You tried to explain it to me, and I still don't understand exactly what its function is.
Yeah, I think you're still stuck on the pot holder thing. I think you still feel like
you put a hot pot
casserole should go on that.
Which is a very Lutheran thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is the Lutheran. That is the Lutheran. It's really showing in you. Anyway, the point is, I bet Jess can do that. She's really good at that kind of stuff. All right.
Well, I better give her my route before she takes that picture then, so you can see where I walked on the big map.
Very good. Excellent. I feel like we're missing something, but I can't quite remember what it is. Other than, PJ, I don't know about you, but now that school's out and there's no hot lunch, just want to warn you, it's pretty much every man for himself right now. In terms of...
speaking of that, we've got a barbecue today.
That's what it was. I knew there was something.
Speaking of lunch, it's actually dinner, but so here at Trenton Road today, we're having a Family Connection ministry get-together. So we're going to have dinner together out on the playground here. So the kids will be able to run around and play, and it's supposed to be nice and hot today, like a real summer barbecue.
Yes, it will be.
Yes. So that'll be fun. We're gonna have hamburgers and hot dogs, and everyone's bringing a side. That kind of.
And that's Family Connection night. Family Connection. So we look for those things online. You guys got your own Facebook, or we have a Facebook page of the Family Connection things, right? Kind of announced.
Somebody does. I don't have it, but somebody has it.
Well, that's in church.
If you're watching this, you can probably.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we try to use we as much as possible, right? It's like we do this, because you have a schedule. We have a schedule of events throughout the summer. Right?
Yeah, we're gonna do 3 of these
Right,
barbecues. So
right.
I don't. If you can't make it tonight, that's okay. We're gonna have 2 more of these.
Plenty more time.
And
Yes.
we're gonna have water activities for the kids on some of the other ones too. So yeah, it'll be good.
Get out there at the campus.
Yeah,
right.
we made that. We made this giant
Yes,
slip and
the
slide
giant slide. I
last
remember
year.
the slip
Yeah,
and
we're gonna
slide
have to
last
do that
year.
again too. Yeah, that was fun.
I remember you being really sore the
Oh,
next
man,
day
I could
after
barely
the
walk.
slip and slide. I remember watching you do the slip and slide, going, "All right, it's gonna catch up with him."
It's probably not going to get better another year later either.
Speaking of the playground, I heard that we've got some playground mulch arriving on Friday.
Okay.
Did you see that?
No.
A little upgrade, yeah.
New mulch, huh?
Upgrade to the playground here at Trenton Road.
Why do you always have to? What happens to the mulch?
I feel like
I mean, at
I
home,
don't
at playgrounds,
know.
anywhere, you always see people buying mulch.
That's the thing. I don't know if this is like a special type of playground mulch, but
yeah, it probably is different than
you know,
because everything's got to be fancy for the kids.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure what's happening, but it arrives Friday at 7:30.
Okay,
That's all I know.
It might be fun to watch.
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to park in the right spot. I'm trying to not be in the way.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of moving parts here in the summer as we get things together. I know the school's hard at work. The teachers are wrapping things up with meetings.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So they're still running around a little bit.
Yep.
Fortunate enough to have leftovers from yesterday's Jimmy John's.
Oh, nice.
So today's taken care of, but it's the rest of the week. All right. PJ, next week, as I said, we are visiting President Davis.
Yeah.
And I thought that you and it might be good for us, because I sent him an email. I said, hey, Dave, this is what we're going to talk about. A couple things. Number one, how do you want to be addressed?
Yeah.
Are we calling him sir? Are we calling him president? I don't know.
Yep.
POTUS. I don't know what the president
of the Michigan district. It's not as good.
It doesn't really roll off the tongue, so we figure that. I'm going to ask him a couple questions. First of all, I want to know, does he get mixed up with the other President Davis?
Who's the other President Davis?
See, that's why I wanted to preface this, because that would be the president of the Confederacy.
Oh,
right. You've got family. You said your family comes from down. I've got family down south.
Yeah.
We still have people within our family that refer to that as the War of Northern Aggression.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. So I got to check out.
Yeah, that could be. It could be an easy.
Does it cause some problems?
Yeah.
Can he be in the same room with vice presidents? The Michigan district has vice presidents.
Yeah. I think four. There's 4 vice presidents, I think.
Yeah. So is that thing at the convention when they're all there together? It's almost like a State of the Union address.
Yeah.
Who's the designated survivor? Who's
the
guy?
Is there a room
that's off in the other room, like the Jack Bauer character?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You familiar with the Designated Survivor as a television show?
Oh, I thought that you would just. I didn't know that was
it's a
cultural
term. It's a literal thing. No, it's a thing.
No, I'm not familiar with the Designated Survivor.
PJ, you might need to take a civics class at the local.
Oh, this is a governmental thing.
It's a real thing. Yes.
Designated survivor.
They basically take one person and insulate them so that if anything happens over here, you've got someone to run the government.
No, I didn't know anything about that.
Designated survivor. It's either a real thing or ABC tricked me that it's a real thing.
That could be.
I'm not sure which one it is.
Well, I would hope that we would have that in our Michigan district here.
I don't know how you don't.
Yeah.
Were there any other terms that they considered instead of president?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Did we want to go king? Probably wouldn't have been good. King David. That'd be awkward.
A little awkward, but I love the biblical connections.
Big shoes to fill for President Davis. Emperor, Caesar. Do we go?
Ooh,
do we go biblical?
Caesar's a little tough.
Procurator.
Oh, okay.
Right? That's
Yeah.
I believe Felix might have been a procurator.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Prefect.
Yeah.
These
are all bad guys in the Bible, though. Except for King David.
Yeah, they're not great.
they don't take a positive role generally.
Felix, though, remember Felix?
Well, he does get convinced, right?
Well, here's the thing, though. But then Luke qualifies that at the very end of that account with Felix. It says Felix often sent for Paul because he liked to listen to him because he hoped that he would give him a bribe.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's how Luke gets.
Motivation's not great, but
Felix was he was always one step ahead.
Yeah.
He was always planning. All right. And finally, for those of you who don't know, I have been asked. President Davis asked me to be the circuit visitor.
Yeah.
Which means I kind of work within some of the churches at the circuit visitor. I'm still learning the responsibilities of that, what my role is. But the fact of the matter is, as I think about this, he's responsible for me.
What do you mean?
If when this goes south.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like President Davis, how much trouble are you in?
Yeah.
When my role as circuit visitor becomes an absolute train wreck.
Yeah.
That's the question. I don't think he realizes.
Well, you know what? I think that I'm happy for you that you get to say that at this juncture, because that for everything that I do, I get to say that. Like I'm just, I get to point right to you.
Yeah, that's true. That is.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, dude, exactly. And he's up for re-election, right?
That's
is
right.
He up for re-election at the convention,
That's
right?
Every convention is a new election. Yep.
So I feel like it's probably time for me to go underground.
Okay.
All right. I really need to, I don't need to get him in trouble now. What questions might you have for our district president, Pastor
Man,
Phillips?
I don't know. Here's the deal. So the district offices are on the campus of Concordia Ann Arbor. So I'm really looking forward to visiting next week, and I'm going to take some extra time to spend some time.
That's right.
On the campus.
Yeah.
And we've got Stacy also works in the office with President Davis.
Right.
So that's sort of our other connection here. Stacy was our business manager for, I don't know, how many years? 7 years or something?
7, 8 years. Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. And now she's been with the district for almost a year.
I think it was about a year.
Yeah.
Ago that she's been with the Michigan district.
And so I just kind of think about and wonder what the day-to-day looks like, because, for us, our ministry is here. For them, their role is really to help coordinate and support all of our church ministries.
Yeah.
And I wonder sort of what the day-to-day of being in the office is like.
Yeah. That's what we're going to ask about.
Yeah.
We want to talk to President Davis about our partnership, because we do partner with them, and we're kind of unique in our Lutheran church and how we've organized our Lutheran church. And so we do want to learn a little bit about that. But what I hear you saying, PJ, is maybe just a half hour to film the church office just might be scratching the surface. We should maybe go up there, just spend the whole day with President Davis, kind of like
see how long it would take before we were asked to leave. Sort of like that. You mean? Like, guys, we got to get some actual work done here. It's like, you're gonna have to go back to your church.
Bring your kids to work.
Yeah. He'll ask Stacy to probably deal with us.
The staff is there texting. How long are those two idiots here? Why hasn't he sent them home yet?
Yeah.
So you're saying we should maybe spend the day?
I think so.
With President Davis.
I think so.
Well, President Davis, if you're watching this episode, is maybe doing a little bit of research.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess we won't see you at 2:00 on Tuesday. I guess we'll see you first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
All right.
First thing in the morning. That sounds good.
Until then, we will see you next time from the district president's office. Bye for now.